Darius Stanton and the lights of the round table. We are all pumped up and ready to go, pumped up and ready to go. Win, win, win. We're all pumped up and ready to go because we have, as usual, a dynamic show for you today. And while we have this dynamic show, I want to bring some folks on to you that are going to really excite everything that we got going on today, right? Now, this is the deal. When you think about being in the position of building wealth, of creating financial freedom, of putting love and light in the atmosphere, then in order to do that, you must first understand something that one of our guests talked about, and I'm gonna let Darlene Brown, our queen, introduce him, but that is that money is energy. Understand that money is energy. We're talking about freedom from a whole nother level. So don't get caught up. You know, you see these people chasing the bag. We're not chasing the bag. We're chasing the freedom. And the freedom is right here on the inside. So without further ado, let me bring on our great lights of the round table, Queen Darlene Brown. Welcome back to the Peace in the Morning Show, Queen.
Hello, grateful rising, grand rising, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
All right, light and love, yes. The manifestation of money is energy. In fact, I said everything is energy. That's where it starts. And so I'm super excited about our guest joining us today, who's a very dear friend of mine. He's a brother from another mother. And so I'm excited to have him here with us so he can share all the information. And also going to be joining us is Daphne Jones, one of our business partners, who is just a phenomenal, extraordinary woman, a business mogul. Yes, I can't say enough about her. She's going to also be sharing some insight, and she's a part of our group when we talk about how you generate and shift the atmosphere for creating generational wealth.
All right.
So
well,
yeah, so let's
give you a chance to jump into them real good because that's
yeah. And of course, you know, we have our other
conversation.
co-hosts. I can't, you know, Marcus is always gonna be with us, of course, King Marcus Johnson, our co-host. But our guest is David Washington, who is the owner of a WG Global Group. I think I said it right. Did I say it right?
WGM Equity Partners.
WGM Equity Partners. Yes. Welcome to the show, David. So happy to have you.
Hey, so delighted to be here.
Hey, look, I'm excited about you being here, David. Welcome to the show. And I got to give our brother, King Marcus, King David, an opportunity to bless the group because people are on here looking out for the light. What's up? Light it up, get a drink, get a jazz, get a book, get a message, get a webinar, all off of that. Our brother, the King himself, Marcus Johnson. Peace and morning, King.
Hey man, peace and morning to you and David and Daphne and Darlene and the whole crew, Darius. And you know, I sincerely appreciate being here. Something I look forward to. And I'm looking forward to talking about money, and especially when we're talking about, you know, equity partners. And it's funny, people talk about banks, people talk about, you know, getting funding for their company, but when you start talking about equity partners, you're talking about the signs that you see hanging on fences that go around the big buildings that you see. Equity partners, you really don't see it per se, but when you go to check in at a hotel and you look to the left, you see this hotel is owned and operated by so-and-so equity partners. And when you're talking about building wealth, you need to understand what equity is, because most of us, because we don't understand equity and intellectual property, we give up the majority of our intellectual value, which is really the value of all that we have and the branding that we have. So I look forward to talking about that energy as well and how we manifest that and bring it to a written form so that we can, you know, claim control of it and ownership of it, and we can exploit it versus being exploited.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we are definitely, you know, excited about, you know, our star-studded group that we're working with today. And so we look forward to having everybody chime in on the dime in, right? So check this out. Before we get into it any deeper, we've got a group of folks that are coming to us this morning. Chase Your Dreams. Chase Your Dreams is a foundation that has been developed by none other than Tunnel Vision. Tunnel Vision is a sports apparel company. You often see the brand in our background. And so we're really excited about being able to have them join us today because they've got an initiative, a run walk in Annapolis, Maryland, that's going to be held on November the 7th. It's a virtual walk and run. But the key is we're bringing people together to make sure they have an opportunity to be unified and strong and love and light. And so without further ado, let me bring to you our good brothers, Mr. Lenny Knight, Mr. Arden Smith, also known as Natural, to the Peace in the Morning Show, Lights of the Roundtable. These are dynamic brothers from Annapolis, Maryland, and they're here to be with us to talk about the Unity Walk. That's going to be on November the 7th in Annapolis, Maryland, virtual. So you can get your groove on without being around a whole lot of people all over the world. And also joining us this morning is the president of Chase Your Dreams Initiative, which is Tunnel Vision's foundation arm, Mr. Rodell Wright. So gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us. Indeed.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. And you see, we have the lights with us. We got Queen Darlene Brown, King Marcus Johnson, and also our very special financial guest, Mr. J. David Washington.
Right, right.
Definitely need that brother here.
No doubt about it. So listen, hey, Lenny, what's going on, brother?
Good morning, my friends. Good morning, kings and queens. How's everybody doing?
All right.
Awesome and
We're
amazing.
doing well.
Well, we're all pumped up and ready to go. Definitely. And thanks for adjusting that. Hey, listen, so let's get right into it. November 7th, there's a big event coming up. You can see the flyer in the background. We'll put it up on the screen in a moment. But there's a huge event coming up on November the 7th in Annapolis, Maryland. And it's on the heels of what was a historic event that took place in Annapolis called the 1,000 Men March. And that 1,000 Man March was to really protest police brutality, but also focus on the violence that takes place in our communities. Well, this group has pulled together an event to make sure that we address not only police brutality, but also the things that are taking place in our community. Just the violence, but what inspiration, what positive things are out there, our health needs, our educational needs, our business and finance needs. All of these things we'll be doing and talking about when we walk on November 7th. And so to kick it off and let us know all about it, Rhoda, won't you give us an inkling as to, you know, the Chase Your Dreams and how that, you know, inspired, and then Lenny, you know, come on, give it to us and let us know, Arden, why it is that we, you know, we agreed to partner. I'm part of this group as well, very excited to be so. So take it away, Rodell, and let us know, you know, why this Unity Walk is so inspirational and how people can really, you know, plug in.
Okay, so good morning, everyone, and I appreciate you, Darius, having us on and being a part of our committee. This all came about as a result of just us having conversations and conversations about what was actually going on in the community. As you mentioned, I am the president and chief operations officer of Tunnel Vision. We are a for-profit business that focuses on or creates custom team apparel, as well as sports retail apparel. As a result of what we were seeing on the business side, we decided to create a nonprofit. As a result of kids not being able to participate in organized sports because of the money piece of it. They simply couldn't afford to buy the uniforms. They couldn't afford the registration fees. So we decided to create the Chase Your Dreams initiative. And with that Chase Your Dreams initiative, we want to focus on community and issues within the community. In conversations with folks in Annapolis and throughout Anne Arundel County, it was brought to my attention that there was a desperate need for food. The food distribution network in both Annapolis as well as Anne Arundel County has been impacted drastically by the economic climate that we're in. As a result of COVID-19, people are being furloughed, people are being laid off, and then those that are being laid off, if they receive the unemployment, unfortunately, that extra $600 that they were receiving was cut off due to what the president and his team did with regards to that. So this is an area that needs help that's being, and we came together and we thought that, you know, we could make a difference. We could add some value in some discussions with some local clergy. We found that the clergy and the churches who would have the food within a matter of hours, if they were to give food away, the food was gone. And then there were still people in line to receive food. So we got together as a committee and decided among ourselves how we could best serve and most effectively give back to our community. Our goal is to raise $35,000. And that $35,000, that money will go towards the food distribution networks. And we will work closely with nonprofits, churches, county, state officials with regards to the distribution of those funds to make sure that people can in fact receive and get food. With the Chase Your Dreams initiative, we want to touch in all areas from a community perspective, whether it's financial literacy, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's fitness and wellness. We want to be a part of that and utilize our platform and utilize our business experience to be able to articulate that out. Holistic health is a big thing that we think we need to focus in on. And it was brought to my attention by you, Darius, that holistic health would include mind, body, and spirit. It's not, you know, just about hugging a tree or going out eating some bamboo or being a vegetarian or that sort of thing. It encompasses it all. And I think Arden will kind of touch on that and address that. So we're in a crisis right now as a country. We've got the election coming up. It's going to take place on Tuesday. We encourage everyone to get out and vote. As a result of what happens with the election, we need to unify collectively, no matter who becomes president. But we encourage people to get out and vote. But we just felt as if this was something that we could do to give back to our community and to let our voices be heard. We've got the attention of all the politicians. Mayor Buckley is going to be actively engaged. County Executive Stuart Pittman is going to be engaged. Members of the City Council. I want to especially thank Councilwoman Rhonda Pendell Charles for her support and what we're doing. We've got the folks in the House of Delegates that are actually being involved as well. Senator Henson, Delegate Henson, I should say, and Delegate Jones are going to be actively engaged. We've got the blessing and the support of the United Black Clergy of Anne Arundel County. Bishop Palmer is going to be engaged with us as well. So we would encourage everyone just to participate. I think now we just need to move your body, just get your body moving, get your lungs moving, just physically move yourself. And with this event, you can create the route in your area, whatever area you feel comfortable with. We're encouraging people to follow the COVID-19 guidelines, practice social distancing, identify a route within your local community. The 5K is 3.1 miles. Just identify that route. Get your friends, family, business associates, come out, walk with you, spend some time with you. But most importantly, do something to move. And if you cannot physically participate, you can donate. We'll put a link up here on the page. I've been blasting it all over Facebook and social media, how to get involved. Arden's got an image up there on his thing. I've got an image here. We've got t-shirts. I've got one of the t-shirts on that you will receive once you make your donation. We'll take donation amounts starting at $20 up to $50,000, whatever you want to do. We want to make it comfortable, but most importantly, we want folks to understand that people are in need. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, there's free food giveaway in Annapolis right at the People's Park. They're doing a great job with that. In the southern part of the county, there's churches down there that are actually giving away food. Fresh Start Church up in Glen Burnie gives away food on Fridays. And there's other entities throughout the county, as well as in the city, that are actually giving away food. So we just want people to be engaged. If you can spend 20 minutes chatting it up on social media, you could certainly spend 45 minutes or so doing a quick brisk walk and getting out there, getting your lungs expanded and getting involved and being supportive of those that are in need right now.
Well, thanks, Roland. You got a lot of people involved in a short period of time. You definitely have heeded to the call. I know Annapolis just had a very serious violent incident, which has been, unfortunately, a consistent pattern in the city of Annapolis, like a lot of small towns throughout the United States, where there was 6 shot, one actually killed just, not even 10 days ago. And so really appreciate you all responding. We will be meeting the march. There's a small group that will be starting at the Navy Marine Stadium, walking through the Clay Street area where the shooting took place, and then downtown. But we're encouraging everybody to walk from where you are. You're a star. Don't you know who you
I
are?
like that. Yeah.
That's right. Hey, Lenny Knight, talk to us, man, about the group that you and your brother, y'all have that dynamic show, intermittent fasting. Talk to us about, what it is that brought us together rather, to really push this out and, do something for our community, just standing up. I just we all participated in a 1,000 man march. We're on the heels of the other side now of the 25th anniversary of the Million Man March, but now we've got the Unity Walk and Run. Talk to us about, why you got involved and what pushed us to this space, and share this with the lights of the round table.
Well, thanks a lot for having me on this good morning this show, and you do a fantastic job on a basis. Darius, my brother and I
Chop up a little bit, Lane.
my brother's
Lenny, Lenny, I'm gonna shift gears for a little bit. You're a little distorted.
Chopping.
Okay.
Yeah, he has a bad connection.
Yeah, jump into it, brother.
No problem.
CP's in the pod. Go and roll with it.
Yes, sir. I mean, bottom line is with the intermittent fasting show, it's about health. It's about getting your body to do what it's designed to do by the creator, and it's heal itself and perform at an ultimate level. A lot of times we are willing to live here and, oh yeah, I'm just fine, I'm okay. But we should be great. We should be outstanding. We should improve as we go along in life, not deteriorate and waste away and feel like we're old at 25, 35, 45, 55. It's amazing what your body will do when it's allowed to perform the way the creator created it to. So with the intermittent fasting show, we're seeing a lot of people change their confidence level when their body makeup changes, but more importantly than their whole shape changing, the inner them, their inner selves change because they're healthier inside. And the correlation with good food to good thinking, it's a straight line. If your soul is divine, it's really a straight line when you combine good food and your thinking. Because if you put yellow number 5 sugar on your diet the first thing you wake up in the morning, and all of these other chemicals that they're putting in foods right now, you find that it correlates to how people respond and how people act, even in schools. And that's what the studies have shown. Whole foods. Now, the knowledge of knowing that if you eat in a time window, and just real quick, if you're not familiar with intermittent fasting, what we're talking about is scheduled or time sensitive eating. So you fast for 16 hours and you have an 8-hour eating window, and you try to eat as healthy as possible. And what happens is your body starts to process all of your food, and the average meal takes about the energy for a three mile run. So think about it, you eat 3 times a day. How many people up to run 9 miles a day? I'm with you. But most people, if I say if you eat 3 times a day, you need to run 9 miles a day. Ain't nobody putting their hands up. Come on, people don't want to walk from the parking lot way back there to just get to they ride around 15 minutes to get to the front parking lot. Let's be real. So we want to change that mind. And when you change what you eat, you change that mind, and you change how you act and feel. It's not a problem running up the steps. And I'm not saying walking up the steps. I'm saying running up the steps and get up at the top and feel good. So that's what we want. We want you to live well. We want you to run faster than your children till you 50 like me. We want you to, feel great. Realistically, you see how Mr. Stanton looks right here? He's glowing. That's why the lights of the round table, because they shine. So
that's right.
You need to shine from within. So
Rodell, can you speak a little bit to I've had arguments over a while. I go to a functional doctor who stands by the elimination diet as well as the as intermittent fasting. And, we have these great conversations. I was in law school while she was in med school at G-Town. And I think Darius and I've touched on this, and Darlene as well. But the idea of 3 squares a day as a function of pushing the economy versus what we need. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I definitely. I'm sorry. Was that for me or for Road
Yeah,
Out?
yeah,
That was
absolutely. That's for you.
That's for
This
you.
is your time, bro.
No problem. I mean, bottom line is that let's just look at what happens. There's quite a few industries that we know harm people. Whether if you talk about dairy, if you talk about certain meat industries, and I can kind of go down the line and step on quite a few toes, but the bottom line is, look what happened when Oprah said she just personally said she's not going to eat a hamburger again. They attacked her because of the money. So if you don't think that the 3 squares and that whole diet to include all of those industries that are really hampering people's lives, and the information is out there. If I know, the doctors know. But the bottom line is that it's money. It is definitely money driven. I need somebody to go eat breakfast. I need somebody to go eat lunch. I need somebody to go eat dinner, and all of those snacks and everything in between. That's the market. It's about that money. And, you know, it's not really funny. So realistically, bringing it all full circle, it's information we need, it's understanding we need, and it's power and empowerment that we need. And we give up our power all the time. So unity wise, and this walk really pushed us. And I think everything everyone said kind of touched on. This is a lot of tentacles reaching out to different segments and needs in our community from the unity. When we have you walk, if you're a father, if you're an uncle, if you're an older brother, older sister, get your younger siblings to come, get your children to come, get your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews to come out and walk with us. We need multi-generational connection. We need the elders speaking to the youngest of us. We need somebody 25 speaking to somebody 65, because you think differently, definitely at 65 than you do at 25. And you know how you felt then. We need those type of correlations. We need that type of understanding. And for daggone sure, especially in a small town like Annapolis, and you'll find a small world like the earth, if we have that, we have people finding out, don't shoot at him, that's your cousin. You understand?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You running around with a gat thinking you're gonna get beef, and the beef doesn't come, and then you end up in a problem and you shoot your cousin. You shoot somebody that's your mother's best friend's son, but you don't know that because those generations aren't connecting right now. So this walk is multi-themed. You know, we want to bring people together. We want them to talk because it's a small world, and you find out that the degrees of separation are even smaller than 6. So if we can get you together, we can understand that if you walk 30 minutes a day, you could extend your life. You could feel better. You could be here longer for your children. And so don't just walk for yourself. And you can walk for yourself for those things, but walk for the person that you have in your family that had diabetes, the person that you know in your family that has sugar. Walk for them. Walk for your ancestors that are here, that brought you all through this. And you walk for the information you have now that you could have shared with them, and they could have lived longer. They could have been with you longer. So walk for the reasons that move you. Walk from anywhere you are. If you're from Bangladesh, and you connect with the fact that people need to help people. People need to get together. People need to unite. People need to feed people. There's an awesome story. I don't even know if I have enough time, but this story kind of connects.
You don't have enough time for that.
You don't have enough time.
But bottom line is that the long story of it is that when you have heaven, you have heaven is people feeding people. People feeding people. That hell is people just trying to eat for themselves. And the bottom line is we can build heaven right here on this planet. Come see us on the 7th, walk with us, be with us from 10 to 2, come through, do what you do, support your loved ones, support yourself, live for the earth. We can build a better earth right now. My godmother always says, we build heaven on earth. That's our job. That's why we're here. So it's funny because this really connects. This is my last quote and I'm out. There is a hidden oneness in the universe, and it's our job to illuminate that oneness. And that's why I'm so happy to be here with the lights. Peace and love.
The round table. Market Fresh.
Peace and love.
Peace and
No
love.
doubt about it. Thank you so much, Rodell Wright.
Thank you.
Thank you, Arden Smith. Also of Market Fresh Gourmet. Market Fresh Gourmet is a African-American owned grocery store that will be opening up in Prince George's County and Baltimore City in the next year and two. So you can look forward to a phenomenal grocery that's focused on health and making sure that people are going to do well. And don't forget, November 7th, no matter where you are, you're a star. You can walk and run. Doesn't have to be Annapolis, Maryland. That's just the hub. It can be all over the world.
Hey, Darius, hold on one second.
I'm gonna let them go. But look,
They can donate.
Bangladesh.
Hey, hold on. Hey, y'all, we need the links. We need you to go on our Facebook page and put the links in for the walk. And Rodell, for your event as well, chasing the, well, I guess it's the same thing, my bad. But to put the link in there, people are communicating, you know, through our chat. So please connect with them so that, you know, they know where to go. So that they can support you. A couple of people have asked about it.
Fantastic.
Right.
We will definitely oblige, and we thank you guys for having us this morning. Have a great show, and come out and support us, as Arden say, on November the 7th.
If you can't participate, you can donate. What? If you can't participate, you know,
You can donate,
baby. That's right. You know how we do, Darius.
Hey,
It's on anytime. Peace and
All
love.
right. We appreciate you so much.
Love
Thank
you.
you all. That's
Okay.
right.
All right. Thank you for having us.
Chase your dreams. Now we're gonna keep it rolling. One of the things that was so interesting, that was a great question you asked, Marcus, when we talked about just what we eat and the amount of consumption, right? But what we're not paying attention to is the amount of consumption that's also tied to the energy that we spend on processing that food, right? So that takes away pain from the power from the brain. That takes away power from the body to do all the other things that the body needs to do to help itself become, you know, to regenerate. But also think about this, COVID-19. There's a very interesting article in The Atlantic that talks about why certain places in the world had huge spreads and other places who have similar conditions did not have the same type of spreads. But one of the key common denominators of the entire process of COVID-19 and the deaths is how people eat and their well-being pre-COVID. Pre-existing conditions is what they call them, tied directly to food. And so on that note, I wanted to go ahead.
I mean, I'm gonna say, like, I mean, if you think about the idea of what obesity is and using the body mass index as your key indicator as it relates to determining levels of obesity, whether you're obese or morbidly obese, most of us don't even understand that the majority of America is walking around with a pre-existing condition called being overweight. And people are like, well, I can fit in, you know, almost the size jeans that, you know, I fit in when I was a certain age. And, you know, it is like, no, that is not the case. It's not just how your genes feel. It is your body mass index, which indicates, you know, obesity. And that is a key indicator of whether or not you're healthy and how your body can actually fight. Because when you are larger, when you're obese, that's inflammation in your body. So your body's busy fighting off everything else and the toxins that you're putting in your body. And therefore it's unable to fight, you know, COVID. And so it's amazing to me. Again, we don't learn nutrition in school, really. We learn to eat what they tell us to eat and go eat, buy food for breakfast, buy food for lunch, buy food for dinner, buy food for parties. They don't tell you also, you know, your levels of health and how you can really determine and get to a place where you are healthy, where your body is functioning properly. And, you know, we may not need to eat 3 square meals a day. And, you know, again, the functional doctors are really finding this out. When I say functional doctors, my doctor's an MD, but is looking at holistic medicine and, you know, researching areas where outside of the United States, where, you know, in particular, one place in South America, they visited and stayed for 6 months. No cancer, a 0% rate of cancer in a particular community. These are things that we have to look at, but obesity in and of itself is a pre-existing condition, Darius, and one that, you know, I mean, that we really take for granted. Oh, I'm big, and this is no offense to anybody out here. I'm just big boned. I'm just this. I'm just that. And I swear to you, I get it. I understand how you may feel, but like your skeleton, if it was in science class, is not going to have big bones, right? It's going to look at what it's going to be about the same size as somebody your height, you know, etc. You have to take care of yourself, because if you don't, you are poisoning your body, and your body can't fight these other conditions. And COVID is just this year, man. We have to understand we're in a new age, man. And this is what everybody's saying. The next age is the age of humans fighting, you know, the earth almost.
That's right. And that's where we are. And as a matter of fact, that's a great place for us to be able to shift as we go over to our special guest, Mr. J. David Washington and Mrs. Daphne Jones. And we didn't give the proper introduction. So we're going to drop back and talk about the energy. So that's, you know, where we kind of started. You know, it's all about energy and understanding that that's what we are. You know, human beings are energy, which hence the show, the lights of the round table, right? Ta-da! We're all lights and we're all energy. And so that energy that we continue to push and promote, you know, is also seen in currency and how we transfer. And a few weeks ago, we had a young lady on, Ansela Ramsey, talking about cryptocurrency. And so looking at cryptocurrency and all the other, you know, non-traditional currencies that are coming on the stage. They're also, of course, the age-old things that have been really pushing the economy throughout the United States and the world. And so with us today to talk about that is Mr. J. David Washington, and also his partner, Ms. Daphne Jones, who's working with our light, our queen, Darlene Brown. So Darlene, introduce our folks, please, Queen, and just kind of set the stage for this shift that we're going to have in conversation. And just so you know, we are going to tie this conversation to our current election situation, because people don't understand that the power of the dollar even controls the election. Regardless of what you think about the Republicans or the Democrats, when it comes to the dollar, they're all on the same side. So make sure you got your dollar unified. Queen Darlene, take it away. You're on mute, by the way.
Myself, thank you so much. Yes, I'm super excited to have my family, you know, J. David Washington, who is the owner of Equity. I can't even tell, because for me, he's my family, he's my brother, but he's also my teacher and my mentor. And yes, you want to shift your energy when we talk about generational wealth, when we talk about finances. It's really energy. Energy is everything. Everything starts with energy. So I'm going to let David kind of talk about what he does. And then we have Daphne, who is a sister and just a phenomenal woman. She's so skilled, so gifted, so talented. You know, I'm just blessed to have phenomenal people around me that teach me, that support me, and that align with me. But again, that's that energy, right? Right. So we manifest that. That's what it is. And so Daphne, talk a little bit about what you do, and then we'll switch to David so he can really drive it home.
Yes, good, because you know he's the real deal, Holyfield. So it's a blessing to be on the show. Thanks for having me, and thanks for having us. And I'm a retired senior vice president and chief information officer from GE Healthcare. I retired about 3 years ago, and now I serve on the board of 3 corporations. They're each over $2 billion, and I'm a paid corporate director for an aerospace company, a healthcare company, and a door manufacturer. But at the same time, I'm looking to build my intergenerational wealth by trading. So what I do almost every day is I get in the market and you know, find a way to get access and opportunity to the capital markets that are there, so I can pass the money on to the next generation. I'm also a public speaker. I'm also in the writing a book, and it is currently in the hands of my literary agent right now. So it's on its way to the publisher. So hopefully it'll go forward. So doing a lot of things and having fun.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Super excited to have you here. And my brother, J. David Washington, where you at?
Hey, I'm right here, and I'm glad to be on the show today. You know, I just want to share one thing that I found that was very interesting about the previous individuals that were on the show. And they talked about the unity walk. And to quote the young man, he says, good food, good thinking. And then he spoke about food correlations. And then he spoke about health is wealth. And one of the things that we believe over at WGM Equity Partners is that wealth is a function of energy, and it's a function of us as a people beginning to use our understanding of energy to help us build wealth. So we are family office administrators, and we actually, as a business, provide the services of more of an advisor. Someone had said to me yesterday at the top of a mountain that I climbed in Arizona yesterday, South Mountain. She says, David, you're like a consigliere in the movie The Godfather. And if you ever saw that movie, Tom was an attorney, but he advised the family. And so what I do for a living is advise my own family, but I advise my friends and those individuals that are close to me about one particular area that I'm very passionate about. And that is the industry of trading and earning money like banks. And the capital markets are one of the most fascinating businesses to me in the world, because it is, by understanding capital markets, it is where our people will truly have the opportunity to take our intellectual property, to take our knowledge, to take our love and our passion for survival to the next level. But we need to understand how to do that. And the first thing is that we have to be healthy, but we have to also understand that we have to begin to use the seeds that we have, whether individually or collectively, to move ourselves forward. Now, we look at this scenario, this time period which we're in right now, which is COVID-19. And I don't want to get into a whole bunch of stats, but if we look at a recent Brookings report, it talks about the wealth disparity between our white brothers and our people of color. Their net worth is $171,000 versus ours of being $17,000 per household. That's 10 times the wealth of the average family. And the reason why is, though we have income, the thing that's missing in our community is accumulation. And that is where our community needs to understand, how do we go about the process of accumulating wealth so that when the flu comes, when viruses come, when the next COVID-19 comes, we're not concerned about, am I going to get my government check? Am I going to get my unemployment? There's nothing wrong with receiving those payments, but if you had $1 million in the bank cash, would you be concerned about COVID-19? Would you be concerned about your community? What happened? Over 300,000, maybe I think 200 or so thousand families in New York City, when COVID hit, they went to Long Island. They went to Miami, to their second home, to enjoy life in their pools and to relax while an epidemic was going on. So my passion is that this is a learning opportunity, and I hope a fire has gotten underneath some of us, because I can honestly tell you, there are some of us who came into 2020 with a plan to be better than we were in 2019. And so one of the things that I often say is that, listen, whoever you were in 2019, 2020 made you more of that. So if you were planning to be successful and planning to grow, then you're growing even in the midst of this pandemic. But if you did not prepare your house like the three little pigs, you built your house on straw, you built your house on sand, you got blown down. However, but if you built your house on some brick and some cement and a solid foundation, when the winds and the storms came, you were able to endure. So what am I proposing? I'm proposing that within our community, if you're listening, take an interest in trading. And what do I mean by trading? there's something called investing. Investing is something the majority of America does. They give their money or they deposit their money in their 401k accounts, which is a great thing to do. Their individual retirement accounts, their SEP accounts, their defined contribution accounts, their pension accounts, which are controlled by big institutions, banks, insurance companies, mutual companies, investment banking companies. They take our money, our income, and then they deploy that capital into various markets. That could be cryptocurrency, that can be Forex, that can be stocks, that can be bonds. Those are the instruments that financial institutions use to move money. And every day, money moves like a wave. Money goes up, it goes down to the valley. It then ascends to a peak. And so if you understand that money is an energy and you want some of it, you have to place yourself in between where money goes in and where money comes out.
Hey, Dave, I'm going to stop you here because I get everything you're saying. Yes. But for someone who just heard Forex and it may sound like Mandarin, Chinese to them, right? And so here's the thing. There's also a disparity, not just between us and the generational wealth that our white brothers and sisters have been able to accumulate due to 400 years of a head start. Yeah. But then there's a disparity where when we use these terms and somebody hears Forex and they don't know it's the foreign exchange, and they automatically cut off because then they feel like we live in this hypersensitized, super vulnerable, highly anxious society. So as soon as I hear something that I don't understand, my voice is like, if you put your money here, you might lose it all. So you better go back to work and get your government job. And what and where do they start? Right? Because there are people that dude, I swear to you, I still am amazed at the amount of people that have dial phones with no smartphone, right? There are people who have cash in a drawer. Right. They're like, I don't know what to do with it. You talking about being able to do something when it comes. Well, I sure do have that cash box under my bed. They don't understand how do they start?
How does it work?
Yeah, man.
Okay, so let's just kind of just break this process down. And this is something that I really encourage our group. So we have a chat, but it's basically a private group of a family, but we also have something public that we're setting up, but we're not going to do that until next year. So one of the basic fundamentals is that we're learned. The other brother talked about his godmother. I had a godmother, and she's still alive today. She's 88. She took me to the bank every Monday. So I learned that you should save. So one of the things as a community, we should have the following, and please listen to me very well. This is practical. You should have a bank account. Start with opening a regular bank account. The next thing that's basic that every single person in our community in the world could have is open a brokerage account with a real brokerage firm. I have no interest in any firm. I'm not a broker. I no longer carry my Series 7, Series 63. I don't do that anymore. However, I understand how they work because I'm a former Goldman Sachs alumni. And my background is fixed income trading and operations. I'm 58 years old. My first job was at Citibank. And then I went from Citibank to Dean Witter Reynolds, from Dean Witter Reynolds, Fidelity Investments, Irving Trust Bank, Security Settlement. And then I finally landed at Goldman Sachs. So my entire upbringing all throughout the 20s has been being in the back office, the front office of investing, and then moving into private equity where I create my own deals. And so by having a brokerage account gives you true power and true financial freedom. And today, when I came into the industry in 1983, Merrill Lynch would not talk to you unless you had at least $10,000.
Yeah.
You had to bring $10,000 to the table before they would even entertain you. And that was so you can have a cash management account. Then you had a broker. He would call you on the phone, tell you what the pitch was. You had to read it in the newspaper. There was no electronic trading. Today, you can open up an account with Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, any of those firms today with no money. You don't have to have any money. You can open an account. All of these organizations have free training. You don't have to go to the DIY community. Trust and believe, I have nothing against all of the people that are on the internet and pumping all types of information out there. You can learn how to trade in 30 days and you can be successful. Personally, I don't believe that. Being someone that's been in the industry, I believe it takes time. If you want to do what I do, there's a book that I recommend to everyone. It's called Trading for a Living by Dr. Elder. It is probably one of the best books that's out there. If you want to have a career in trading and where you have your own money and you trade your own money and you can produce an income of $250,000 a year, that's going to probably take you 3 years to do it. However, it will be the best $250,000 that you would ever make because you'll be building a career and an understanding. But it starts with first opening an account. And if you have no money, don't worry about it. You start where you stand. There was an app that was created called Robinhood. Now, mind you, Robinhood is an app on a phone. It's not really a real brokerage firm. However, it was a window of opportunity for many millennials who, when the market dropped in March, those millennials took their unemployment payments and they was buying the Teslas of the world, the Apples of the world, and they were buying fractional shares and they built accounts from their unemployment. You go to Tyson's Corner, you go to DC, you go to any mall all over the country and you see young people under 25 shopping in the Gucci store, buying the most expensive things. Now, I'm not knocking what they're doing, but I happened to speak to a couple of them and says, you know, why are you in here buying $1,000 shoes? They was like saying, because I got 25,000 in my Robinhood account.
So let me ask you, when you say open up a brokerage account and you don't require any money, what does that do? So say, you know, a single mom working, and she works for the government and she's making six figures. She has a credit union account, a checking account, and she's probably saving. And so she wants to shift the generational wealth to position her children to be in a better place. So right. Opening up a brokerage account is going to do what for her? I mean, does it require a certain amount of money? Does she need $10,000 to open that account? Does it accumulate a greater interest? What is the benefit of that?
Okay,
David, let me pile on to that and just actually, you gave the first two. Number one was open a banking account. Number two was a brokerage. As you continue to answer Darlene's question, continue with your 3 and 4 financial tips so we can make sure we add that into the chat.
Okay, I'll just go back. Okay, so everyone needs to have a bank account, basic checking account. Then you need to have a brokerage account. Then you need to have the next account that you need to have your retirement account, all right? Then you need to have what we call, you know, in our community in which we talk about, you need to have a crypto account. It's a real account. It's a real relationship that you want to have. And then you want to have a Forex account, a foreign exchange account, all right? Those are 5 fundamental accounts that everyone should have. Because you hear people talk about, oh, I want to have 7 revenue streams. I want to have 10 revenue streams. So let me tell you something. If you have $1,000, but you have 5 bank accounts or 5 financial accounts, the accounts work as the money magnets that you learn how to manipulate those accounts. Okay, so you have a direct deposit. There's that mother. She has a job. She makes $8,833.33 a month. Okay, so that means she makes $100,000. She has $100,000 income. All right. Out of that $8,000, what you do is you pay your expenses last. What you do is I personally believe people should be trying to save 20% to 50% of their money should go towards their asset accumulation. I know my position is a little bit different, but I believe that we should be aggressive about taking care of us, because the old school, when we talk about intergenerational, our forebears told us to live beneath your means, not above your means. So if you living beneath your means, that means if you're married or if you're in a relationship with someone, you need to be able to live off of one income only. And if you adopt that mindset, you change your mind and says, guess what? I got 2 paychecks. We're going to figure out how to live on 1 paycheck. And then we're going to shift that other money into accounts that will help us accumulate. Because when you learn how to master those accounts work for you. Whereas if you go to a bank, which I have several bank accounts. However, I know that bank account is only going to generate for me 1.5 to 1.7% interest, right? That's no money. But it's in a capitalistic society, we use financial institutions to hold money, to deploy capital, whether income is coming from a job or it's coming from a business. However, that second account that you have, you must have a cash brokerage account, all right? And by having that cash brokerage account, it allows for you to take your cash and invest that cash into stocks. Those stocks are equity within the capital markets. That stock investment that you make in an Apple, in a Tesla, in a GE, in a Ford, okay? Not only are you going to get dividends on that money that you park, but you also get the benefits of the ride up. Now, stocks go up and they go down, but one of the things that people in our community have is a fear of loss. And we have to learn how not to move from a place of scarcity. You have to understand, and this is what our community has to understand. Yes, people lose money in markets because you lose money with drinking. You lose money by overindulging in other things in your life. But if you learn how to manage your money within these institutions, you won't lose. There's something called the FDIC. There's something called SIPP. The FDIC is where banks insure your money up to $500,000. And then you have SIPC that insures each account for up to $500,000. So the more accounts you have, that money is insured. So if you're learning how to watch your money, you'll be able to see your money and you'll be able to relate the movement of your money every day. Because guess what? We have cell phones, we have smartphones. You can look into your phone and you can see, oh, this is how much I have in my Robinhood account. This is what I have in my TD Ameritrade. This is what I have in my Onanda Forex account. So the power of your finances is in your hand. And it's in our communities that we have to learn that we have to begin to bank differently. Banking and having money at your home is not a smart move, okay? And especially since we're moving into digital currency and cryptocurrencies. So that's why you want to have a crypto wallet, okay? A digital wallet. And that digital wallet, you know, we don't have the time to talk about the benefits of cryptocurrency and learning how to move into the crypto market, but the practical aspects of cryptocurrency and where the future is going, it is amazing. And one of the opportunities, it's one of the principles of Quanta. It's the principle of cooperative economics. And so when you hear the name of partnerships, equity partners, that's a principle that we believe in. We have a family office. I talk to about 35 people that are my blood relatives or people that relate to me. And we are demonstrating within our private community that we could work together. So I dismiss people who says, oh, we don't work together. Well, I don't know those people, because the people I know, we work together, we break bread, we're living, we're traveling. So I dismiss any person who says some foolishness that people don't stick together. We wouldn't have survived slavery if we didn't stick together. I look at a Howard University and I look at all of these powerful institutions that we have, our churches. Clearly we stick together. Clearly we are dynamic people. Clearly, we're amazing. Damn it, we're here. The Native Americans was here before us and they died of disease. But we came over here, you beat us, you raped us, you did all type of shit to us. But guess what? We are here and we're thriving. And guess what? We're going to continue to thrive.
Amen. Hey, check it out though. I have the varying, let's take 3 different examples, right? And I'm posting like I'm defining everything you're saying because it's going so fast and everybody's like, I love it. So check this out. I have $500 or $1,000 or 15, let's say 500 because some people may just be because they bought Gucci instead of buying Gucci.
Right.
They don't have the disposable income. And what I mean is they bought a Gucci bag instead of buying Gucci stock.
Right.
I might not have, $10,000.
Right.
I might have an extra $500 a month.
Right.
Do I call you? And if
No.
I do, what do I do?
So here's our thing. I'll be honest with you. I don't need another client. I don't need no money. I'm good. But what I will do is I will support this show and I will share information because information is the power. But there's something that we say to people. Knowledge is the acquisition of facts and information. Understanding is the ability to relate your knowledge to people, places, things, and events. Correlation. How do you correlate the knowledge? And wisdom is the discipline to implement your knowledge and your understanding. That's how you create wealth. So from a practical standpoint, people can throw questions to this organization because this is a part of Darlene. We're the family office. So whatever Darlene does, she automatically breaks bread. So if you have access to Darlene and you have access to Marcus, you already have access to me. So this show is the vehicle.
So and I got you. So again, for me, dude, I get it, right? I get what when you say Goldman Sachs, I get it. It may be Mandarin Chinese to somebody else.
Right.
When you say Morgan Stanley, I know what you mean. That may be Mandarin Chinese to somebody else. When you say Bank of America, besides having, a checking account that I run my life off of my ATM statement versus my actual QuickBooks statement, most of us may get that. What I believe is that, like, I get it at your level. There are people that don't know what a friggin' brokerage account is. And the other thing with generational wealth is that your dad and granddad and great granddad were talking about brokerage accounts, or your brokerage account was set up for you when you were born. We haven't been there yet. We're getting there in many ways. So there are people who are looking at this and saying, okay, now that we can do this, where do I start? And great, the show is great, but when they leave here, Dave, and
make it real.
Even if we have to come back and you say, Marcus, I don't know who to call because I'm not taking any clients right now. We need pragmatic steps for people who don't know this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because there are, bro. I mean, I'm holding on the cryptocurrency. I have an MBA from Georgetown. I'm teaching all this stuff. There are people, you are a Goldman Sachs graduate. I need you to break it back down.
All right.
And
break it down. We don't need to do anything to break it down.
So let's break it on down to you and make it measurable for you. There's something that you can go to right now on the website, TD Ameritrade. All right? TD Ameritrade. Everybody, if you don't have a brokerage account, go to TD Ameritrade today and open up an account and download the app. And they have an app called Think or Swim. Download the app, Think or Swim, and you can actually start to paper trade. Literally, you can paper trade.
What does that mean?
Paper. Okay, so paper trade.
Wait, hold on. Hey, and I'm not trying to insult anybody or you, bro.
But I get it. It's all good.
Yeah, no, because how else are we gonna know? Like, I get it. I understand. He understands, but we really want to empower our people. We want to inform and educate them.
Okay.
And that's the value. That is the value of the lights of the Roundtable. The value of the lights of the Roundtable is we take the intellectual and make it
Right. Yeah. Let's break it all down.
As I say, hey, David, as I say, and I tease people, we're just Rons, right?
Right.
Regular old whatevers, right? So all I'm
right.
saying is we may have an education, but
That's
you
right.
can call me Ron. I'm trying to break it down for my other brothers and sisters to be like, oh, that's paper. Hey, yo, I was paper trading today. That's exactly what I want them to say on tomorrow or later today.
And real talk, if you look at my screen, I'm making money right now while we talking and doing this show.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
So here's the thing. Paper trading is when you open up your account, they will give you $200,000 and you can actually buy and sell while you're getting comfortable with trading. It gives you the ability to actually buy and sell. And that's what paper trading is. So when you download the app, Thinkorswim, it's a free app. It doesn't cost you anything. And Thinkorswim is the platform that TD Ameritrade offers for you to trade. So that's one platform that I use. I love, I'm very comfortable with. And the second platform that I use is something called Interactive Brokers. It's more secure. It's very, very tight. And it's built for people who have a financial background and for people who want to open up investment clubs and you have a family and you want to do group investings. Interactive Brokers supports that. And they also support paper trading. Those would be two of the internet-based firms that I would highly recommend. If you want to get started today, you can actually go download the app Thinkorswim, and you can download IKB, which is Interactive Brokers, and you can have that app on your cell phone today, and you can start paper trading. And literally, by understanding how to trade, I think it'll be one of the best things that you can ever learn. And I'll be honest with you, Daphne has been trading with me for like about a month now. She's known me for close to 3 years, but she decided that, you know what, David, listen, I want to make some money. I need to know how to make money. Now, mind you, she's a woman, she's done, she's good, but she wanted to have another source of income. And to be quite honest with you, I think this is a great segue for Daphne. She has graduate's degrees. She sits on the boards of public companies, but she never knew how to make money through using a brokerage account. And so Daphne is a perfect example that can actually share what she's gotten in the past 30 days or so by her trading with me on a daily basis.
So here's, by the way, guys, I'm looking at the market as well, and I just made $600 while trading. And this is real money, but I started out with paper money, $200,000 that TD Ameritrade gives you on Thinkorswim. And then the trick for me is to learn the knowledge that David has. So he's teaching me the fundamentals, the science, the art, the judgment, the managing risk, managing capital, trading your personality, knowing when to get in, but you also have to know for your own sake when to get out. With paper money, you're not trading your rent money, you're not trading your lunch money, you're trading their paper money. So you can make mistakes. And then part of the art of this is to learn from those mistakes. What did I do well? And how was I feeling when I made that decision? Was I anxious or was I excited? Was I calm? Was I cool? And then using the Trader's Almanac that he made all of us get, we take our notes and write down what did we do and what did we risk and how did we feel? And so the paper trading is fantastic. So far, I invested 30,000 real dollars of my own money into TD Ameritrade. I got tired of paper trading. I got tired of seeing David make this money, and I was making money on the paper trades, but I wasn't making real money because it's like monopoly money. So then I put $30,000 of my own money into TD Ameritrade, and then since then I've probably made $5,000 in the last 30 days.
Wow, thanks so much for that testimony. That is, hey, that's power. That's what we want to talk about, is being able to, how you make that transition, that connection. And what you heard David say was, you don't have to have $5,000. You don't have to have $30,000. You can start with $5.
That's right.
You can start with $5. As a matter of fact, you can start with no dollars, get your information up, get your confidence up. But hey, Why not take that money you were going to eat out? So instead of eating out during the week, instead of drinking during the week, instead of buying things that you don't necessarily need during the week, don't buy those things. Take that money that you were spending there, invest it somewhere else. And the key that you heard David say, we put it in the chat, but he said it's 5 different accounts. 5 different accounts you can establish that you should be able to have set up so you're creating multiple streams of income. So I'm gonna have David go over those 5 accounts. I gotta thank the queen, Darlene Brown. She talks about David all the time. David, 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 David. Well, now you see why she's talking about David, because David is making that bank account go a-chinga, chinga, chinga, a-chinga, chinga, chinga, a-chinga, chinga, chinga.
Hey, I'm trying to get to Tulum.
Hello.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so one other thing, David, we're going to ask you to wrap up with the 5 accounts again. But I wonder why we have the opportunity, because you don't really hear this much talked about. And, you know, people join boards and talk about nonprofit boards. But one of the things you don't often hear is corporate boards. And the fact that, you heard our sister talk about Daphne, that she's a corporate board member on 3 different boards. Now, I don't know if people know it, and a lot probably do, and some may not. But are you aware that corporate board members, unlike nonprofit board members, they get paid?
That's right.
They get paid to come to meetings. They get paid to give advice. They get paid to have their name attached to your company. They are paid, right? They get paid for their travel. They get paid for their meals. They get paid, right, for using this. It happens every day, all over the world. And information, as David said. So Daphne, just talk to us a little bit about that experience and what it's like, and then also talk to us about what the room looks like. In other words, are you the only person there? And lastly, I want you to close with talking about how you, as an African-American woman, bring other African-American women and people of color to the table in what I would presume are predominantly all white males.
Yeah, it's used to be the thinking that it's homogeneous, that everybody looks the same. It's all white guys with ties. And the world is changing. Vantage point of women, the vantage point of African Americans, of Latinx, all of the different demographics are important now, because we have to, in the boardroom, reflect our customer base. If our customers are all white, maybe you should have all white board members. But most companies don't have that way. Most of the companies have customers that look like us, that are women, that are Black, that are Latinx, that are Black men, etc. So the board composition is changing. So right now it's all white men. I became a board member after I used to present to boards in my old job. I had no idea what a board did. I just knew that I had to be really quiet when I walked in the room when they were there, and they were the smartest people in the world as far as I was concerned. And so when I retired, I decided that I wanted to actually join a board. And now with the fact that demographics are changing, they really want people of color on board. California has a rule law that says that X number percent of board members need to be female and or Black. And that's happening throughout the country. I am the only Black person on 2 of my boards. On one board, there's me and a brother, and he happens to be the lead director of that particular board. So that's really, really favorable. On the other boards, there's about 2 or 3 women, but I'm the only Black of 2 of the 3 boards. The room is, it's pretty cool. It's somewhat formal, depends on the company. And the way you get onto a board is tell everybody that you know. You tell your search firms, you tell people who are CEOs that you know, CFOs, you tell people like me. And based on that, you have to understand what your superpower is. Is your superpower M&A, mergers and acquisition? Is your superpower finance? Are you a CFO type? Is your superpower, understanding talent management? I'm a CIO, I'm a cybersecurity, I'm a digital transformationalist. So my superpower was around the technology. And so companies are looking for that, especially in the area of COVID, where people had to stay home. E-commerce is on the rise. Digital is on the rise. So they're looking for people with diverse skills, not just the old skills of the past, where all you had to do was be a CEO and you were on a board. So you have to have multiple skills now to be on a board. And they're looking for us. So if anybody wants to join a board, I can talk to you how. You get paid $200,000 a year on average per board. You get $100,000 in equity, which is their stock, and then you get another $100,000 in cash. So if you're on 3 boards or 4 boards, then you can kind of do the math there and see how you do.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, my name is Marcus Johnson. And although I'm on a bunch of boards that I give money to, I'm looking forward to speaking to you about these new corporate boards. I have a JD and an MBA from G-Town. I speak at Harvard, taught Cornell, Georgetown, and pretty successful. So let's have that conversation.
And a friend of mine is a lawyer, and she's a partner. We're creating a class called the Board Curators. I'm teaching a class on how to join boards, and she's a lawyer. They are looking for lawyers. Obviously, you got to have M&A experience. You got all kinds of experiences that lawyers have. So let me know, connect with me, and I will take you through the process.
Yeah, I'll make sure that I connect Marcus, you with David and Daphne. And, you know, I'll do a little group thing so that you all can talk outside of this.
And if anybody wants to Google me, you can Google me at Daphne E. Jones. My website is daphneejones.com. So you can find me and kind of read up about who I am and what I've done in my life.
Excellent.
Okay.
Daphne, thank you so much, Queen, for joining us. Thank you for giving us that bright light with regard to joining corporate boards and how, you know, what it looks like and what it, you know, how to access it and how to put yourself in position if you want to be in that particular space. And as Marcus said, who's a very accomplished Forbes top 10 international wine manufacturer in our community throughout the world. I said international, you know, could be a part of that community. We want to make that happen. But I want y'all to recognize something. She put something out there. And what did he do? Immediately he jumped on. He didn't wait till after the show. He didn't wait to text her later. He didn't say, Darlene, can you hook me up? He said, hey, my name is Marcus Johnson. Here are my qualifications. Holla at your boy. And I want to be on the board. You know what I'm saying?
That's how we do it.
Action.
Hey, you practicing the behavior.
Hey, Shuddy, no, that is a demonstration of how it happens. Look, man, so many people are like, well, God, maybe I can find, wait a minute. It's almost like those commercials where, you know, guy sees girl on train and, you know, right when the train pulls off, he jumps off like, yo, look, I got one chance and I saw you. What's happening? And even in my book and the stuff that I talk about, you know, in the TED Talk stuff, is the idea of taking advantage of what's happening right now. If you don't ask life to dance, it can't dance with you, player. But if you ask life to dance, you may decide I didn't like that dance, but you will never lament over the fact that you didn't ask for the opportunity, that you did not ask for the dance. And I say dance often and ask to dance even more often.
That's right. You can dance. And you can also walk on November the 7th with the Unity Walk in Annapolis, Maryland, and all over the world. Daphne, are you going to walk with us on November the 7th, please?
Yes.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Run and walk. Queen Darlene Brown, are you going to run and walk with us in Scottsdale, Arizona? Oh, that's right. You'll be back in Maryland. Well, wherever you are, Virginia, will you walk and run with us? Thank you very much. Marcus Johnson, will you walk and run with us on November the 7th?
I'm going to be around, bro. You know that.
You heard it from the man himself, the Keys. And J. David Washington, will you be able to run with us on November the 7th?
What I will be doing is making a philanthropic contribution because I will be in South Beach trading with Daphne. So we will write a check.
Thank you so much. And you heard the brother.
Chill trading. You didn't talk about that form of trading. You talked about a bunch of other stuff, paper, money, equity, all this other stuff. But then there's chill trading. I'm chilling, looking at my computer over in the background. I have my Zoom background, but that's actually real players. But David, that's the aspiration. That's what we need to be thinking.
Right.
In South Beach, or you can be in your mansion, or you can be on some mountain, or you can be in some village, or you can be skiing somewhere.
That's right.
Money.
That's right. That's right. Listen, I'm in Arizona right now trading.
So David,
hey man, hey David,
I appreciate that comment.
Yeah, I'm in Arizona trading, man. I was up in the Grand Canyon trading, and
hey, question, David, do you golf?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I live on the 15th hole in Upper Marlboro.
Of which course?
Presidential Lake.
Okay, so play there often. Yo, when you get back, Darlene, so the other dance we're gonna do is on the golf course play. So you can come
listen,
over.
Man. Done.
Listen, done.
Done.
I'll listen. I'll connect you after this. I'll just do a chat. You know, y'all can talk and schedule your golf and all of that.
All this light, y'all see all this light running? Hey, listen, we gotta get ready and roll. And I appreciate you all, Queen Daphne Jones,
All
Brother
right.
Natural Arden Smith. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward. You just heard some contributions that are going to be made from some of the lights of the round table. Queen Darlene Brown and J. David Washington, we're going to let you wrap it up and give us the 5 bank accounts, the 5 types of accounts, financial accounts that we should all have. The 5 financial accounts we should all have. And I want to make sure people understand it. And also, peep this out. Early voting has already taken place. People are very concerned about the current situation with the current administration. There are also people who are very concerned with the fact that Democrats have not really supported what we've done, have not really been big supporters of African Americans and done things that need to be done. So what I suggest is act, all right, take action, invest your time and your energy in your community. And last but not least, vote. But then after that, immediately go right back to holding the people that you vote for accountable and stop giving your vote away for nothing. Stop giving your vote away because it's a Democrat or because it's a Republican or because they had Obama or because they had Bill Clinton, the horn player who sent all these black people to jail through 3 strikes you're out. Stop just giving your vote away because people got real sexy titles and they look like they did something on the front. Find out who their friends are and what they really did and doing with their money, right? Don't just take people on face value. And I love what Marcus said. You know, are you buying Gucci or are you buying Gucci stock? And then ask yourself, what is Gucci doing for your community? And do you even want to have your money tied? Because your money is your energy. Your money is your energy. And so as you take your vote to the poll, that's your energy. You're putting your energy into that process. Understand the power that we possess. If you stick your finger into an electrical socket, guess what? You will get shocked. Do you know why? Because you are energy. We have energy. Use your vote, use your energy, use your spirit, use your power. Chase the spirit. A good spirit will take you a lot further than a good bank account. And at that note, as my brother walks through the halls to get to his next place, he's gonna give us the 5 things, the 5 accounts you need to have set up. This is Darius A. Stanton with the Lights of the Round Table on the Peace in the Morning show.
Hey, great. So just a reminder of what we said before. Everybody, I want everybody to make sure that you have your basic checking account, you have a brokerage account, and the brokerage firms that we said that you should consider is TD Ameritrade, and download the software, Think or Swim. And then you want to have your cryptocurrency account, and you can open those up with either Gemini or Coinbase. And then you want to have your IRA account, which is your retirement account, and you want to have your FX account. And once you get started, as you start now will be how you finish. Inch by inch, it's a cinch, but yard by yard, it's hard. So you can start today with as little as $25 a month. You can do something called dollar cost averaging. And what is dollar cost averaging? It's just simply saving the same amount of money every time period, whether it's monthly or weekly, by automatic withdrawal from your account. And you can set that up through your bank account, and you can put that in your brokerage account. And as you accumulate cash, you can start to buy fractional share positions. And I know we're winding down the show, but a fractional share means you may not be able to buy 1 share of Amazon today at $3,400, but what you can do is you can buy a percentage of a share, and you can put $25 towards that share. And when you accumulate the share price, 1 share gets allocated to you. However, but today Apple had a stock split. So now you can buy 1 share of Apple for less than $125. And most people think that, oh, I got to have a lot of money. Listen, start where you stand. If you're rocking an iPhone, it is totally unacceptable that you do not own at least 1 share of Apple stock. So you look at your phone. When you look at your phone, you say, hey, listen, I got stock in that company. So I think my recommendation today for everybody that's hearing on this call, buy yourself today 1 share of Apple, 1 share of the store that you shop at.
So if you shop at Target, buy yourself 1 share of Target. If you shop at Home Depot, buy yourself 1 share of Home Depot. And that's how you start to build your portfolio. Invest at places that you spend, and then invest in people that you love, and shop with people who are giving you a value. So remember, in the midst of us building equity, also build partnership with Black-owned businesses. And
Hey,
support
David,
your
as you roll out, give us the 5 accounts, please.
The 5 accounts was your bank account, your regular bank account, your brokerage account. That will be the account that I'm encouraging everybody to open today with a TD Ameritrade or Charles Schwab or E-Trade. Those are all brokerage accounts. Your next account is your cryptocurrency account. Your next account after that is your individual retirement account, which we talk about to the team. That's your long-term account. In other words, your IRA account is going to be housed at a brokerage account, but it's different from your cash account. Your cash and your margin account is going to be the account that you're going to use to accumulate cash, trade your money, and make money on money. And then your next account is your foreign exchange account, or what we often say is your FX account. Those are the 5 basic fundamental accounts that will allow for you to build financial freedom. Because in order for you to become financially free, you have to be financially structured in a way that money can come in and money can go out, so that you could be financially free.
Hey, you heard it from J. David Washington here on the Lights of the Roundtable with the Peace of the Morning Show. It's Queen Darlene showing that love sweatshirt real quick. Ta-da. That's right. That's right. King Marcus, thank you so much, brother. We appreciate you.
I love you, man. I mean, I have to say a special thanks to the entire guest, because what we talked about was like our human equity, taking care of ourselves with the intermittent fasting, looking out for another with our positive energy, and then, you know, coming back and filling out with Daphne with inspiration on going from, 30,000 to, 500. Then, David, I'm sitting here and I'm talking to my lady right now, and I'm like,
Right.
yo, I can't get up.
Wait till we all get around the table though.
Hey, dude, hey, we're gonna be playing a lot of golf, and if I ask you too many questions,
it's
just tell me to stop.
It's a real thing, man. Listen, we are in Upper Marlboro. Darlene to tell you, we don't really do a lot of public stuff, but man, we always do private dinner parties at the house, man, where we just kind of break bread with just people who are like us, man. So we're in the neighborhood. I travel a lot, so I'm getting ready to go on a worldwide road trip, but I'll be back home mid Thanksgiving, man. And like Darlene and Darius, man, me and him, we spoke on the phone literally, I will say by accident, but I accidentally called him one day thinking that I was calling Darlene, and man, me and him, we met and we chopped it up, man. And it was just like, damn, we were like brothers, man, from another mother, man. It was like instantaneous. But man, it's like Darlene is so tight, with the Mrs., and they break bread together, man, and they love all over each other. And so it was only going to be a natural thing that, as time, came on, I would end up meeting, people that Darlene knew. And because her energy is so dynamic and so spiritual based, it's kind of like truly like eagles fly with eagles, birds of a feather flock together, man. And so when I met Darius, I was like, man, God damn, man, it's love. And, he's up in Marlboro. And the thing is that I don't know any men. Don't get me wrong, man. I dig women and everything, but I like to chop it up with brothers. Iron sharpens iron. One man sharpens another. And I like to get down with other brothers. My whole thing is that, as men, we have to get together and encourage each other and lift each other up and put each other, man, on our shoulder, and because, my dad is still alive and I grew up with a lot of OGs, gangster type of dudes. And so I'm all about empowering men and being the kings that we need to be. I'm a grandfather. I got 3 granddaughters, 2 daughters and a son, so I'm all about the kingdom building and taking care of the Black family. So when I meet other king men, man, we just joined one king to another king. Got the Upper Marlboro king getting together with the Annapolis king.
That's right. Come on.
Hey, Montgomery County king.
Hey, look,
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Guess
So
what?
that's how I look at it, man.
We
I
just
love
created
all
a
of
new
the
show.
brothers, man.
We just created a new show called Kings of the Roundtable. But in the meantime, this is Darius A. Stanton. On the lights of the round table
All right,
saying
bro.
peace.
Peace
And
and love.
hey, share this
Great
show
show,
and your
guys.
light and your energy will grow. We see you on November 7th.